Hi, Anupriya Goenka. Welcome to Bollywood Life.
Hi, thank you for having me here.
All right, but let me start with the first thing that everyone's been asking, right? We've been in lockdown for more than 4 months now. I guess in your case or
Yeah.
my case, 5 months. All right. So tell me how important this lockdown period has been in your life and what's going to affect you, like how it's going to affect you later. What do you think about
I think it's been very important in the sense that, just for the realization that life is so fickle and that anything is possible under the sun. Like maybe even in February, had someone told us that there'll be a lockdown of 4 months and everything is going to come to standstill. And what I found the most fascinating was that the entire world at one point was at a standstill, was shut down, not just a country or a small province or a city, the entire world together. So yeah, I mean, it's just that thing that whatever we are chasing, whatever we are running after, all those sort of thoughts started, coming in, and there was so much time to introspect
that? Right.
that what is really important. Finally, it is moment to moment happiness, right?
Hmm.
And and yes, it's been a trying time also because there's been so much uncertainty and there's been so much misery around, fear as well,
Hmm.
not knowing when are things going to go back to normal, how life is going to pan out henceforth.
Hmm.
So, but at the same point in time, you have enough time to even think about these things.
Correct.
So, so it's been a sort of a journey where, like, I had a habit of running away from the very troublesome questions,
Hmm.
and I just keep indulging myself in work and the basic requirements and run pillar to post and not really digging deep into one's fears or
Hmm.
wants or desires, answering the existential questions per se.
Right.
So, but then now this time I have at least tried to face them more seriously and more courageously, and hopefully I just hope that once we get back to work, all of us, certain learnings, experiences during these last 4 months stay with us.
Hmm.
I hope we don't shed it all and just go back to the way things were earlier.
Right.
But that is something we
Right.
will see once we get back.
But yeah, I think so. Once we get out of the lockdown, people are going to be more humble. People are going to be more loving towards
I
nature.
hope
I'm hoping on that. So I'm being like positive right now.
so
That
am
once we get
I. So am I. But the funny thing is that all of us are equally responsible. It's
right.
not just we keep saying that people would be. The idea is that we would be more humble and compassionate.
Hmm.
It's that when each one of us start reminding ourselves, I think that's when things will start changing, rather than
Superbly said.
expecting it from the other person.
Superbly said. Well said. Well said. So let's talk about something exciting that happened during the lockdown. It's Asura, right? The people have been talking about it, and it's one of the top 10 series right now to watch on any OTT platforms. The
Yeah.
appreciation is so good. People are loving the show. Tell me, how's been the response so far for you, especially? How are people responding to you?
Very nice, actually. It was quite surprising because we were, Asur was sort of a gamble because something like that had never been served to the Indian audience, which was the psychological thriller amalgamated so much with mythology, and we were really digging deep into that aspect. So we did not know whether which kind of audience, just the niche audience, or even the tier two, tier three city audiences were really, take it in, would really take it in, but they did. I mean, the response has been from all angles, and it just released right before the lockdown, actually. So the first 2 months, I mean, even today, so many people keep messaging about Asur and how they've liked it. And I used to get those long messages where they'd written about everything, like from cinematography to the concept to how it was led, the performances, the thriller aspect of it. So they were really taking down time to just down everything that they liked, the production value. So it was even nice to know that the audiences do notice all this,
Right.
and they've started taking keen interest in the various aspects of content making.
Hmm.
That how everything was so well positioned and combined together. And I think also that way is a very crisp project or a very crisp product because everything was just in place.
So true, so true. Because even I was addicted to that show, and I had to finish in a day itself. So I was that addicted to that show. But talking about Anupriya, you've done a lot of content for OTT, right? You've worked on OTT platform a lot nowadays. Tell me, since OTT is booming right now, how brave is OTT as a platform right now? And what do you think about that? Tell me of such platforms. No?
How brave? Is that
Yeah,
what you're asking?
yeah.
I think very brave as compared to where we have come from. I really appreciate the content makers, the filmmakers, and the studios a lot. Like for Asur that way, Asur was a very difficult project to mount, and it was a huge gamble, as I said, because it wasn't really fitting into one sort of a genre alone. The
Mm-hmm.
mythological aspect of it, the different storytelling was very different than what we had seen before.
Mm-hmm.
So again, so I think the studios have a huge part to play here because they are green lighting and sticking to projects which are very different. The content is very different, and it's not like the other day I was on a panel discussion and we were trying to figure which is the certain genre that OTT hasn't touched yet,
All
and
right.
most of us could not come up with an answer. Like we did realize, okay, sci-fi is something that we haven't done much, but something's been done in the comic space, of course. Something has been done in the thriller space, the crime series, drama space.
Mm-hmm.
So we are kind of touching base on everything, and it's just not about love relationships anymore, or a man-woman relationship, or a college
Right.
story anymore. It's we are diving into all aspects of a certain life. Having said that, I do feel that the writing and the pre-production time that is given to each product, that has to be really increased, because somewhere as an industry we tend to start chasing numbers. I hope that doesn't happen with the OTT space,
Correct.
and we start chasing quantity as well. So I hope that we start giving in more time to each of these lovely, brilliant concepts that people are putting together,
Right.
and just give it more time to finish it all in a much nicer way,
Mm-hmm.
to do justice to the concept.
All right. Well said. Very well said. I'll make a note out of it. Thank you so much for that. But exciting news is one more that you're working with Bobby Deville in his upcoming series, right? People have not been talking much about that. Can you can you
Yes,
share
even
some
I'm
light?
not allowed to
Can you
talk
shed
much about
some
that.
light on it? What is, we know
Just
it.
sent a message day before yesterday asking all of us to keep mum and not say a word. I'm
All
sure
right.
you don't want me to upset the makers of the studio. काम का मामला है, आगे मुझे उनके साथ वापस काम करना है,
I
तो
know.
मैं
I just tried. I just tried.
that's it. But Prakash is directing it. All I'll say is that for me the biggest takeaway was working with Prakash sir.
All right.
You know, as a child, I've grown up watching his movies, and never in my life did I think that I'll get a chance to work with him, and that too in such an elongated manner.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just brilliant. He's so much fun to be on the set with.
Right.
I used to be scared of him initially because of his persona, and how you heard stories saying that, oh, he's very strict, he's a taskmaster and all, but he was just so much fun and so relaxed and always on the go, making the most of everything. So yeah, it was great fun to be with him.
All right, but you've been lucky. You've been working with so many talented directors. Let me name out the directors. All right, Vikramaditya
Good.
Motwani, Sanjay Leela Bhansali, Siddharth Anand, Ali Abbas Zafar, now Prakash Jha. Right, within a span of good span of
Nishikant Kamath. I worked with Nishikant Kamath, Timanshu
yes,
Dhulia.
Nishkant Kamath as well. Right, I missed that. But tell me, working with all such talented directors right now, what have you picked up from all these people, and how you've been applying here now?
You should be telling me that as an audience. If I picked up anything, if there's been
I know,
any
but
growth,
as
but
because
you
working
should
with
be telling me that.
see, I can tell you from the audience perspective, but when once you work with such directors,
Up to here.
okay, let me interview you first, then we can discuss on that later, right? Okay, so
Okay. Yeah, I don't see. In the last 2-3 years, Imran, I started enjoying. Before that, also, I worked with Osham Aluwalia as well, and I worked with Nagesh Kukunur in a movie that hasn't released yet. So there, I'm playing the lead. So there, basically, about I think from 2016-17 onwards, my high became working with different directors who have a very different style of storytelling, but yet are very similar in terms of their passion, in terms of being raw,
mhm,
and a variety of projects. The very soul of each of these projects is very different from one another, you know. So I started enjoying the fact that as an actor, you should be able to mold yourself according to the director's vision.
all right,
Because at the end of the day, it's amazing if you can be an instrument and let the director mold you, let the director kind of guide you. And it's a film is the director's medium per se. You
Right.
know, I think series are more of the writer's medium along with the directors.
Mm-hmm.
So, just working with these different directors gave me the ability to understand different mindsets and work spontaneously while adding my own sort of an understanding of the character
Right.
into it. And some of them enjoy giving you a lot of space. So, and they will not really, I mean, you would not be able to tell whether you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing because the validation is not going to be immediate.
Right.
Some of them have a habit of validating or giving you know, a sort of an expression immediately. So
Mm-hmm.
you know that this is good or this is bad. But so you kind of get used to even chilling and relaxing and just doing your own thing. And finally, I think after a few days is when you find a rhythm with the director.
Mm-hmm.
So all these sort of learnings have come into play that, yeah, to chill, to kind of take it easy, as well as keep control of one's anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
and also listen and then execute
Mm-hmm.
while not losing your own sensibility in the process, keeping something that is yours alive.
Okay. Tell me something. One thing that you learned from Sanjay Leela Bhansali, sir, that you will never forget, the lesson that he has given you. Can you tell that? Can you give us?
Oh Lord, I think I've learned amongst all the directors, he's one of the top directors that I've learned the most from. Like in the list, if I have to pick and say that this is the director I learned the most from, I think Sanjay sir would be amongst the top one few. Uh, like first of all, I learned to work under immense pressure. Like, you know, I think after working with Sanjay sir, I'm now ready to work with many other people
Okay.
because I used to be so scared. I used to be really very scared in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he loves to challenge you as a performer, as an artist, and he likes to break down and not very verbally. So, like he will not let you know that he's doing something with you.
Mm-hmm.
So in that process, at least I felt that he had broken me down in terms of my personality to get me at a place where Nagmati was. Because Nagmati's character was very insecure. She used to have this very confident front, but which was more of an inferiority complex, which she had changed into a superiority complex.
Right.
You know, so, and I'm not the jealous type or someone who's able to have those negative sort of connotations very easily.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think it was very important for me to be vulnerable, like to feel that vulnerability without really bringing it on the forefront, but for it to be very internal.
Right.
And yet, like his school of acting is very different. You know, you get to play with rhythm, you get to play with beats. The way you walk is also sort of a fluid thing, and
Wow.
then you're combining your dialogue with it, the way you're playing with the camera. So anybody, I think my respect for Deepika and Aishwarya and Madhuri and whosoever have done like full-fledged lead roles with him went like skyrocketing high, because there is so much that one gets to play with and also learn. So yeah, I mean, I think his working on his project can with him can really teach you lots as a person, as a performer, both ways.
Well said, very well said. Yeah, thank you so much for those insights. So what I'm gonna ask you next is like, Anupriya, see, since you've been in the industry for a very long time, you've been blessed with working with so many directors, right now. But the situation in the industry right now is we are divided, with the insider and outsider debate that's going on. We know what's happening in the industry, but people looking from the outside are still confused at what is happening in the industry. And so my question to you is like, where do you stand on this insider and outsider debate and the existing power structure that we have in Bollywood right now?
Yeah, first of all, I feel that nepotism does exist. There
Yep.
is favoritism.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, this is the best time for an actor in the Indian industry as compared to before. You know, 10 years ago, the actors who had come as outsiders did not have the same sort of opportunities as we have today. Content has become quite important, because of which talent is being appreciated. They need a certain amount of talent to perform those kind of roles in the content that they are making now, right? So, and opportunities are there. Yes, we as outsiders who don't have a backing, who don't know how to start and how to function, and don't have the support system, whether it be in terms of guidance or monies or contacts, all of that, of course, take far longer to reach anywhere. You
Right.
know, I feel that the star kids are stars before they become actors,
Right.
and we have to prove ourselves as actors again and again and again and again before we see any sort of stardom, if at all. You
Mhm.
know, so that kind of disparity is there, but then that favoritism or nepotism exists in every industry,
That's true.
be it film, be it business or be it any other profession per se. The parent is always going to give a footing to their children.
Right.
You know, so that's not as if it's only visible here. And I feel that the only way to really do anything about the situation or to make it a level playing field is that people just aim for talent. Like, be it a star kid or be it an outsider, talent needs to be promoted. Whatever job is being offered to anybody
Mhm.
in the whole process of filmmaking, be it as a cinematographer, actor, writer, director, whosoever,
Right.
they need to be talented for that job enough already. Not that you're given a platform and different projects first, where then you reach a place where you hone your talent while performing on the job.
Right.
So basic reason that if Alia and Ranveer, I feel they're great finds. We are as outsiders very proud of them. At the same point in time, there are enough outsiders like Rajkumar,
Correct.
Katna,
Ayushman.
or Ayushman. Like, there's so many of them now. Yeah, I think it's a very divided sort of a thing. There are as many outsiders who've made their mark as there are insiders today.
Right.
But yeah, of course, the disparity will remain. But as long as every one of us are very careful and conscious of at least giving the job to talented people and honing that talent. And plus, more than anything, I think the most important responsibility lies in the hands of the audience and the media.
Correct.
If you really want to see a difference, please go ahead and start watching the movies which are supported by outsiders or spearheaded by outsiders.
Mhm.
But it's a business at the end of the day. If
Correct.
the filmmakers see that the outsiders or somebody who's new, on the basis of the talent the movie is doing exponentially well, why wouldn't they make that kind of content? And why wouldn't they support an outsider?
Right.
You know? So I think it's so much in the hands of the audience more than any one of us here. In the film fraternity also.
True. Well said. Very well said. I was listening to your talk and I was just reading my mind. Yeah, people are equally important. Be it audience, be it media, be the people in the industry. We all have to
Even
come
media
together
for
and
that
help
matter.
each other out
It's
like
about
that.
how much, even media for that matter, how much of a mileage are you giving to somebody who's a new talent? And of course, after seeing their work a little bit, I'm not saying that you start singing praises from the very beginning, but if you see and you spot someone who has a good potential, then support them. Give them that mileage.
So thank you so much for chatting with me. By the way, thank you so much, Anupriya, for giving your time. I'll see you soon when the lockdown is over and we can do this in person. Best of luck,
Yes,
and
be
I'll see you.
nice. Take care of yourself and be safe.